So what is going on with Starfield at the moment? I think all of us were at least a little bit surprised that Starfield didn't even have so much as a minor appearance at Xbox Direct this year, so I want to talk about what's currently going on with the game as a whole and the future of Starfield 2. Online, I've seen a lot of, shall we say, frustration, where fans of Starfield are just frankly getting annoyed with Bethesda's silence and with the fact that they're acting like creations are official updates with the way they market them, but the reality is Starfield only has one DLC and the paid mods don't count, right? Even if some of them are pretty cool. And look, right off the bat, I want to say I agree with a lot of this frustration coming from fans right now. A while ago, we were promised bigger and better updates, and that hasn't happened yet. The last major update we had to the game was in November of last year, which is kind of crazy to think about. Something I want to remind you all of is this little update from March where Bethesda said the following. We know you're eager for an update and we truly appreciate your passion for Starfield. The team has been hard at work, and while we're not ready to share specific details just yet, we have a lot of exciting things planned for the game this year that we can't wait to talk about when the time is right. And this statement is what's really interesting to me. We are now over halfway through this year and we haven't even had so much of a teaser trailer for what's coming. And a lot of this message does just unfortunately boil down to corpo speak, right? Just tell them what they want to hear so they shut up in our comments. This isn't like a dev accidentally spilling that they're working on a big DLC. So I see three options here. Option 1 is that they really are working on something and it's simply just not ready yet, but a new DLC will be announced to release like towards the end of the year in maybe like September, October. Option 2 is that they were working on a DLC, but due to the, in my opinion, undeserved negative feedback of Starfield, Microsoft decided to shut the game and future updates down and just asked everyone at Bethesda to go and work on Elder Scrolls 6, which is their next game coming out. Or option 3, this was bullshit, no new DLC or updates were planned outside of creation stuff and they just said it to shut us up. Option 1 is obviously the most realistic option, that we probably just haven't heard anything yet because they're not ready to show us anything yet. And look, I mean, sure, we've had smaller updates since November and since they put out this statement, but it's literally just been tiny things like one bug fix or very minor improvements. It's been nothing to write home about, to the point where I, someone who covers everything Starfield, didn't even bother to make videos on these updates because, well, what was the point? Nothing really changed, right? And look, I don't think Starfield is dead like some people make it out to be. It still has upwards of 10,000 players every month, and that is crazy for a single player game that is well over a year old at this point. My sources at Bethesda have told me that creations, aka paid mods, for Starfield are driving in a lot of money, more than even expected. I don't think that that's a good thing, but that's something to talk about in another video. So, like I said, no, I don't think the game is dead, nor do I think it's abandoned. Bethesda just annoyingly love to go radio silent for months on end. I mean, the Elder Scrolls 6 teaser trailer is 7 years old now. It is older than Skyrim was when the trailer first released, and we still have had next to zero news since then. Obviously, it's a little different. Starfield is a game that is out and is playable and people are playing it, blah blah blah, but you see the point I'm trying to make. This is sadly quite normal for Bethesda, so I don't think we have anything to really worry about. I have said it a million times at this point, but this radio silent move that Bethesda always do is nothing but irritating, and they need to stop doing it, and they should be updating fans more, but that's just my thoughts on that. I have a, shall we say, working theory, and look, nobody has told me this or even hinted at it. This is pure speculation, I just want to say that up front, but I believe that at some point, either in the next few months or more towards the end of this year, we are going to get a Bethesda showcase, much like the Xbox Direct, but it's just all Bethesda. They will likely yap about ESO and Fallout 76 updates that no one really cares about for most of the stream, and then they will end the show with a little tease of maybe Elder Scrolls 6, maybe a tease for Fallout 3 Remastered, since everyone's talking about that, perhaps even a trailer for Season 2 of the Fallout show, and then they will announce a new Starfield DLC and the fact that Starfield is coming to the PS5. Again, that's just me speculating, but I would love this, so that's what I'm hoping for. And I suppose there is some minor evidence to back up my theory, like we keep seeing recently rumours of Xbox putting Starfield on the PS5, and with Sony putting some of their games on Xbox soon apparently, it does seem like it could be a show me yours and I'll show you mine kind of deal, but I'm speculating based on rumours, right? So take that however you want. Obviously, we still have Gamescom in August, so maybe some of this stuff could be announced there. That would be a good place to announce Starfield coming to the PS5 and some new DLCs to try and hype up the general audience outside of just the Xbox players. Bethesda have often been at Gamescom, so I really wouldn't be surprised if we saw them there this year. And just thinking of that statement that we were talking about earlier, and with Todd Howard kind of recently saying that they plan to do annual expansions for their games now, I'm definitely thinking that yes, we are going to get news of a DLC, and this DLC will drop at some point in the next few months. Whether that's official news or a leak, we'll have to wait and see. Also, just we can't forget the word Starborn has been trademarked now by Bethesda, so it's likely that the next DLC is going to be called Starborn, and it will be about the Starborns. Maybe we'll finally learn who made the artifacts or whatever. But anyway, look, that's pretty much what's been going on with Starfield. The sad truth is we're just going to have to sit here and wait and see if we get any updates, but I will be covering it all here, so get subscribed if you haven't already, if you do want to stay up to date on everything Starfield. Lastly, as always, a massive thank you to every single one of our channel members for their continued support. It means the world, guys, so thank you again. But with all of that said, I'll see you all next time. Peace.